The Galactic Council lied. Earth struck instantly, leaving the galaxy reeling. Best HFY stories. The galaxy had always looked at humanity as a small, weak species. Most of the alien empires thought humans were primitive, unimportant, and easy to ignore. They saw Earth as a green-blue dot that could be crushed or ignored without anyone caring. Humans had no vast fleets, no massive armies, and no interstellar colonies to speak of. At least, not the kind the Krelth Empire had. Captain Jake Harris leaned back in his chair on the bridge of the transport ship Odyssey. He had brown hair that never stayed neat and green eyes that always seemed to be scanning everything. He was tired, but he felt a strange kind of excitement. Beside him, Ambassador Lily Morgan was busy checking the translation devices. She was a calm woman with a soft voice, brown hair tied in a low ponytail, and a way of making everyone around her feel at ease. "Do you really think this will work?" Jake asked, glancing at her. "We have to try," Lily replied. "The Krelth aren't going to accept our offer easily, but we can at least speak to them before things get ugly." The Odyssey glided through space at a speed that humans had once thought impossible. The stars streaked past the windows, long lines of light against the blackness. Jake watched them, thinking of the worlds humans had colonized quietly, the ones few aliens even knew about. Humans were clever, even if the galaxy thought they were weak. "Prepare for arrival," Lily said. "We'll be entering Krelth territory soon. Remember, we're here to negotiate, not fight." Jake nodded, though he didn't entirely believe that negotiation would matter to the Krelth. They were proud and brutal, and history had shown that any species the Krelth considered weak was usually crushed without hesitation. When the Odyssey entered the Krelth system, the first thing they saw was the massive fleet waiting for them. Hundreds of ships, all shaped like sharp triangles, glinted in the light of the nearby star. The Krelth ships were enormous, easily 10 times the size of any human ship. Their black and silver hulls gleamed, and lights blinked in a pattern that made them look almost alive. Jake swallowed hard. "They weren't kidding," he muttered. "No," Lily said quietly, "they weren't." A voice suddenly came through the translation device. It was deep, cold, and filled with authority. "Humans," the Krelth leader said, "you come to our space, you come to speak." "What makes you think we care to hear you?" Jake straightened in his chair. He could feel the weight of the Krelth words. They were not interested in diplomacy. "We come in peace," Lily said. Her voice was calm but firm. "We wish to speak to find a solution that avoids conflict." The alien laughed, a harsh, grating sound that made the Odyssey shudder slightly. "Peace? Do you think peace matters to us? You are small, weak. Your worlds are insignificant. And yet you come here as if your words carry weight." Jake's hands tightened on the edge of his chair. "We're not here to threaten you," he said. "We only want—" "Threaten," the Krelth hissed. "You are already a threat by existing. You dare to send your captain and your ambassador into our territory. This is audacity. This is foolishness." Lily stepped forward, her voice steady. "We wish to avoid war. Let us negotiate, and we can find a way for both our species to coexist." The Krelth leader paused for a moment as if considering her words. Then the voice returned, sharper than before. "Negotiate. Humans, do you not understand? You are already in our system without permission. You dare ask for negotiation. You dare to tell us how to act." Jake's jaw tightened. "We have always respected other species' space. We did not intend offense, but if you wish conflict, we will not shy away from defending ourselves." There was silence for a long moment. Then the Krelth laughed again, louder this time, filling the ship with its echo. "Defend yourselves. Humans, you are tiny. Your weapons are weak. You will fall before your words are finished." Lily closed her eyes for a moment. She had expected arrogance, but the contempt was worse than she imagined. "Captain Harris," she said quietly, "we need to be careful. They are dangerous, but we must remain calm." Jake nodded, though anger burned inside him. "Calm doesn't mean weak," he said under his breath. The Krelth continued to speak, ignoring their protests. You come to us thinking you can speak as equals. You have no fleets that can challenge ours, no armies to resist. Your planet is isolated. You are nothing but ants to us, small creatures that scurry and hide. And yet you dare to look into the stars and claim your place among them. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. The Krelth were not just insulting humans, they were threatening them, and not in words alone. He could feel the silent weight of their fleet outside, their readiness to destroy everything humanity had built. Lily took a deep breath. "We do not wish to fight," she said again. "We are not ants. We are humans. We have survived everything the galaxy has thrown at us. And we will not give up our worlds without reason." The Krelth leader laughed again, but it was different now. It was cruel, almost excited. "You speak of survival, humans, and that is exactly what you will need. You want war, then we shall give you war. And when we are finished, your worlds will burn. Your species will be remembered only as a lesson to others. You will regret ever sending your ambassadors into our system." Jake and Lily looked at each other. The words were clear. The Krelth were not bluffing. They intended to attack. They intended to destroy. "Prepare the ship," Jake said quietly, trying not to show fear. "We might have to leave." "We can't run," Lily replied. "They'll follow us. Negotiation is over. They've chosen war." Jake clenched his fists. He had been trained for situations like this, though nothing had prepared him for facing an entire empire that considered humans nothing. He thought of Earth, of the colonies on Mars, of the outposts on Titan and Europa. Humans had come far, quietly building technology and defenses while others mocked them. And now, all of it could be destroyed if they were not careful. The Krelth fleet began to move, forming attack formations around the Odyssey. Hundreds of massive ships, all pointing their weapons toward a single human transport. Jake stared at the screens. Human sensors detected energy signatures far beyond anything Earth had tested openly. The Krelth were ready to strike. Lily placed a hand on his arm. "Jake, remember, humans survive, always. We may be small, but we are clever. We can fight smarter, not just stronger." Jake nodded, though fear still tightened his chest. "I hope the galaxy is ready to see that," he muttered. The Odyssey turned slowly, moving toward the edge of the system. Their mission was no longer negotiation. It was survival. Jake activated the ship's shields, and Lily prepared the communication array to send a warning back to Earth. As they moved, Jake thought of the history of humanity. For thousands of years, humans had faced disasters, famine, disease, war, and natural catastrophes. Each time they had survived. Each time they had grown stronger. He looked at Lily and smiled faintly. "They think we're weak," he said. "They are about to learn otherwise," she replied. Far above, the Krelth fleet continued its advance. But they did not know what humanity had been building quietly, what defenses and surprises had been hidden from the galaxy. They did not understand the mind of a human, trained to adapt, to improvise, to survive against impossible odds. Jake took a deep breath. "Prepare the engines for maximum speed," he said. "We may not have a chance to talk our way out of this. But we can show them humans don't back down." The Odyssey surged forward, leaving the first Krelth attack ships behind. Human ships were smaller but more maneuverable. They could dodge, weave, and escape in ways the larger Krelth ships could not anticipate. For the first time, Jake felt a spark of hope. Humans had always survived by thinking ahead, by using what others overlooked, and the Krelth had overlooked them. From the bridge, Jake watched the stars rush past. The galaxy might have thought humanity weak, but they had no idea how dangerous humans could be when cornered. And the galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The Odyssey returned to human space quickly, moving faster than any Krelth ship could track. Captain Jake Harris and Ambassador Lily Morgan sent a message back to Earth as soon as they left the Krelth system. The message was short but urgent. The Krelth had declared war and their fleets were massive. On Earth, the news spread quickly. The United Earth Council convened an emergency meeting. Admiral Ryan Carter, a stern man with graying hair and a sharp mind, stood before the council. "The Krelth believe humans are weak," he said. "They think they can destroy us without resistance. They are wrong." Council members looked uneasy. They had known humanity was small compared to the great alien empires, and the Krelth were one of the largest. Their warships could crush planets, their weapons could vaporize cities, and their fleets stretched across entire systems. "How do we fight them?" a council member asked. Admiral Carter's eyes were steady. "We do not fight like them, we fight smarter. The Krelth believe size equals power. They think they can overwhelm us with numbers. We will prove them wrong." Captain Jake Harris and Ambassador Lily Morgan stood nearby, listening. They had returned with the Odyssey to help plan the defense. Jake could feel the tension in the room, the quiet fear. But he also felt a strange energy, a human energy, the kind that had kept their species alive for thousands of years. Humans had always adapted when faced with impossible odds. Admiral Carter continued, "Our first priority is survival. We will not meet the Krelth in open space where their fleets can crush ours. Instead, we will strike at what they value most, their industrial worlds, their supply lines, and their command stations. We will force them to think twice before attacking again." Lily nodded. "And we have the advantage of surprise. They think we are weak. They do not know what we are capable of." Jake leaned forward. "They will underestimate us. That is our greatest weapon." Within hours, humans began preparing their defense. Engineers worked on ships that had been kept secret for decades, vessels designed for speed, stealth, and precision attacks. They were not large battleships like the Krelth-S, but they carried weapons that could destroy stations, disable fleets, and disrupt entire planets' defenses. Commander Megan Brooks, a sharp-eyed strategist, oversaw the retrofitting of the human fleet. "We can't beat them in open battle," she explained, "but we can make them pay for every world they touch. We will hit them where they think they are safe." Jake and Lily visited the engineering bays. Rows of ships gleamed under bright lights. The smaller strike ships looked fragile, but Jake knew better. Each one was packed with advanced systems, cloaking devices, electromagnetic pulses, missile launchers, and energy weapons humans had developed quietly over the past 50 years. "These ships are incredible," Jake said. "The Krelth won't see them coming." "Exactly," Megan replied. "They think humans fight weakly. They think we hide, but when the time comes, we will show them the opposite." Meanwhile, scientists worked on the communication systems, ensuring they could coordinate strikes across multiple star systems without being detected. Humans had always been clever with their networks, hiding signals in ways no alien race could track easily. In the council chambers, Admiral Carter outlined the plan. "We will send a small strike force to the Krelth industrial worlds first. We will not fight their fleet head-on. We will bypass it, using stealth and speed. Our goal is to cripple their production, to force them to pull back their forces and defend their own worlds." The council members looked shocked. "You want to attack their home planets? That is dangerous," one said. Admiral Carter's eyes were calm. "It is not dangerous if done correctly. We have spent decades preparing for situations like this. We may be small, but we are precise. Every strike will be calculated. Every move will be planned. The Krelth believe they control the galaxy. They do not control humans." Jake felt a thrill run through him. This was exactly the kind of fight humans could win, not by numbers but by brains, by cunning, by courage. Lily touched his arm lightly. "We have to remember," she said, "our goal is not revenge. We strike to survive, not to conquer. We show the galaxy what happens when humans are pushed too far." Training began immediately. Pilots practiced maneuvers in simulators designed to mimic Krelth defenses. Engineers ran tests on weapons that had never been used outside human space. Tacticians studied Krelth strategies, predicting how they would react to human attacks. Captain Harris spent long hours with the pilots. "Remember," he told them, "speed and surprise are our friends. We do not fight like the Krelth. We hit fast, we hit hard, and we vanish before they can respond." Lily coordinated with the diplomats. She sent messages to other friendly species, warning them of the Krelth aggression and offering support. "We are not alone," she said to Jake. "There are civilizations that fear the Krelth as much as we do. They may help us." The first strike ships were ready within days. Small squadrons, each with only a handful of ships, set out under stealth, cloaking devices hiding their presence from Krelth sensors. Jake and Megan oversaw the mission from the command center on Earth. "Coordinates are locked," Megan said. "Strike Team Alpha will reach the first Krelth industrial world in 6 hours. Their shields are strong, but our weapons are designed for precision strikes. We will take out the main energy grid, the orbital shipyard, and the primary weapons depot. The rest of the planet will be untouched." Jake watched the screens, showing the small dots moving across space. "This is it," he said. "The Krelth think they are invincible. They think they control everything. Let's show them how wrong they are." The first strike hit like lightning. Cloaked human ships slipped past Krelth patrols, appearing suddenly above the planet's orbital stations. Missiles fired, cutting through defense platforms. Energy grids overloaded and exploded. Shipyards were destroyed in minutes. The Krelth scrambled their forces, but human ships were gone before they could respond. Captain Harris watched the replay on the main screen, impressed by the precision. "They won't see it coming next time either," he said. Back on Earth, the Council received reports of the success. Shock and disbelief spread. The humans had struck deep into Krelth space, targeting their most important assets, and returned without losing a single ship. Admiral Carter addressed the Council again. "The Krelth thought they could intimidate us. They believed humans were weak. We have shown them otherwise. This is just the beginning. They will now face the reality that humanity does not give up, does not surrender, and does not fear war when necessary." Jake and Lily met in the control room later that day. The first strike had been a success, but they both knew the Krelth would retaliate. "They will come back," Lily said. Jake nodded. "And we'll be ready. They think humans are easy to crush, but they haven't met humans who fight to survive. They haven't met humans who refuse to give in no matter the odds." Over the next days, human strike teams hit more Krelth worlds. They bypassed the massive fleets, striking at weak points humans had studied in secret for years. Orbital factories exploded. Defense platforms fell. Power grids went dark. Each strike was surgical, precise, and devastating. The Krelth were furious. They had never seen an enemy that could move this fast, hit this hard, and disappear without warning. Their fleets scrambled, but human ships were always one step ahead. Captain Harris sat on the bridge of the Odyssey, watching reports come in. The Krelth propaganda networks were in chaos. Their citizens were terrified, seeing once secure planets burned and destroyed without any warning. "They are learning," Jake said quietly. "Humans are not easy to scare. Humans do not give up." Lily placed a hand on his shoulder. "And the galaxy is watching. Every empire, every species will see that humans are not weak. We survive, we fight, and we win when cornered." Even as the Krelth prepared for a massive counterattack, humans were ready. They had learned long ago to adapt, to think ahead, and to use what others overlooked. The Krelth had assumed that size and power made them unstoppable. Humanity was about to teach them that cleverness, courage, and determination could be even more powerful. The human fleets were small, yes, but each ship carried a message. "Underestimate us, and you will pay the price." As the first strike teams returned, they were met with cheers from human command centers across Earth and the colonies. Humans were no longer just a minor species. They were a force that could not be ignored. Captain Harris looked at Lily, feeling both pride and determination. "This is only the start," he said. "They wanted war, they asked for it. We gave them a lesson they will never forget. And far away, the Krelth fleets moved, preparing to strike back. But humanity had already shown them something they could not understand fully yet. Humans were clever, humans were daring, and humans, when cornered, could do what no one else could: survive against impossible odds and turn the galaxy on its head. The war had begun. But the Krelth would soon learn that humans fought not just to defend their worlds, but to show the universe that they were not to be underestimated. The Krelth Empire had never faced an enemy like humanity before. Their leaders were used to fear and submission. Planets surrendered without resistance, fleets retreated at the first sign of overwhelming force, and no species had ever dared strike back so quickly or so effectively. The humans were changing everything. Captain Jake Harris watched reports from the front lines. His green eyes narrowed as he studied the Krelth response. Their fleets were moving faster than expected, but their coordination was poor. They were not used to fighting an enemy that struck with precision and disappeared before they could respond. "They are scrambling," Jake said to Ambassador Lily Morgan. She stood beside him, her expression calm but tense. "They cannot predict our moves," she said. "That is their weakness." Jake nodded. "And that is our strength. Humans always adapt. That is why they cannot beat us by size alone." The human fleets had become ghosts in Krelth space. They appeared above industrial worlds, orbital stations, and shipyards, fired their weapons, and vanished before the Krelth could even mount a proper defense. Each strike was carefully planned, based on years of research, secret intelligence, and simulations. Humans had learned to attack the heart of the enemy without risking unnecessary losses. Commander Megan Brooks coordinated the strikes from Earth's Central Command. "Strike Team Beta is ready," she said. "Their target is the Krelth shipyard orbiting the world of Krylan. The fleet is large, but we will bypass it using our new stealth systems. The Krelth will not know we are here until it is too late." Jake leaned over the tactical map. Krylan was one of the Krelth's largest production worlds. Destroying its shipyard would slow the enemy's ability to replace lost vessels. "And what about civilian areas?" he asked. "We do not want unnecessary casualties." Megan shook her head. "We will avoid population centers. Our focus is on military and industrial targets. We want them crippled, not hated. Humans fight to survive, not to destroy without reason." The strike ships moved quietly. They slipped past Krelth patrols, appearing suddenly above the orbiting stations. Missile launchers fired, energy grids overloaded, and shipyards erupted in fire. In minutes, the human strike team had done what Krelth intelligence said was impossible. Back on Earth, the command center erupted in cheers. Jake smiled, but he did not feel triumphant. This was war, and it had only just begun. "They will retaliate," Lily said quietly. "They are not used to losing, they will strike back harder." Jake nodded. "And we will be ready. That is why we hit them so fast. We force them to defend, not attack." The Krelth Emperor was furious. He could not understand how humans had struck so quickly, so effectively, and with such precision. His advisors argued constantly, each blaming the other for failing to anticipate the human tactics. "They are small," one advisor said. "Their weapons are weaker than ours. How can they do this?" The Emperor slammed his clawed hand on the table. "They are clever," he roared. "Clever and dangerous. We must crush them before they strike again. Send our fleets to every human system. Leave no world untouched." But even as he ordered his fleets to mobilize, the humans were already one step ahead. Using stealth ships and rapid maneuvers, they bypassed Krelth forces, striking deep into enemy space. Orbital platforms exploded, military factories burned, and energy grids collapsed. Each strike sent waves of fear through the Krelth population. They had never imagined an enemy so small could be so deadly. Captain Jake Harris watched a report showing a Krelth command world collapsing into chaos. The streets were filled with panic. Military officers were dead or missing. Systems failed one after another. They are learning the wrong lesson, he said to Lily. They think they can rebuild in weeks. We will make sure it takes years. Lily placed a hand on his shoulder. We have to stay careful, she said. If we go too far too fast, they may strike indiscriminately. Our civilians must be protected. Jake nodded. We will strike smart. That is what makes us human. We fight to survive, not just to destroy. As the war escalated, the Krelth tried new strategies. They deployed massive fleets, hoping to trap human ships in battle. But humans were unpredictable. They used hit-and-run tactics, sabotaged supply lines, and targeted key infrastructure. The Krelth fleets were forced to retreat repeatedly, unable to stop attacks on multiple fronts at once. Commander Megan Brooks smiled as she studied the reports. They are panicking, she said. The Krelth thought they could intimidate us. They believed humans would surrender. They do not understand that humans fight when cornered. Strike teams moved from system to system. One team destroyed a Krelth weapons depot, another disabled an orbital defense network, and yet another sabotaged a fleet repair station. The Krelth were struggling to keep up, and each failure spread fear through their ranks. Even among the Krelth population, doubt began to grow. Citizens had always believed in the Empire's strength. Now they saw humans striking in ways no one thought possible. Rumors spread of planets burned to cinders, of fleets destroyed without warning, and of humans who could not be stopped. The Krelth Emperor demanded results. Crush them, he shouted. Destroy them all. But his generals were exhausted, their fleets depleted. Every time they sent ships to attack, human forces were gone. Every time they prepared defenses, humans struck somewhere else. The Krelth had never faced an enemy who could think so far ahead, who could strike at their weakest points with deadly accuracy. Captain Jake Harris watched a report from a strike team that had attacked a Krelth command station. They had no idea we were coming, he said. No idea. The station was destroyed before their alarms even sounded. Lily looked at the screens showing the devastation. We are forcing them to defend their worlds instead of attacking ours, she said. We are making them weak, even though they are stronger on paper. The human fleet continued to strike, showing the galaxy that humans were not what they seemed. Each victory was calculated, precise, and swift. Humans avoided civilian areas whenever possible, focusing only on military and industrial targets. They were proving a point. Humans fought to survive, not to cause unnecessary destruction. The Krelth Empire was in chaos. Their fleets were scattered, their command structures failing, and their people growing fearful. The Emperor could not understand how a species he considered insignificant had become the most dangerous threat in the galaxy. Captain Harris and Ambassador Lily Morgan met with Admiral Carter to plan the next phase. We have shown them we can strike deep into their territory, Carter said. Now we need to make them understand that no Krelth world is safe. Jake nodded. We will show them that humans do not give up, that humans fight when cornered, that humans survive against all odds. Megan Brooks outlined the plan. Next, we hit the Krelth industrial worlds that are farther from their fleets. We will use stealth and speed again. They will think they are safe, but they are not. Each strike will cripple their ability to replace lost ships and weapons. Lily added, we must also continue sending messages to other species. They must see the Krelth weakness, and they must understand that humans are not to be underestimated. Strike teams moved out. Human ships slipped past Krelth defenses, appearing suddenly above critical targets. Missiles struck with precision, energy grids exploded, and shipyards burned. The Krelth scrambled their forces, but they could not stop the attacks. Each failure demoralized their people further. Captain Harris watched as a Krelth fleet attempted to intercept a human strike team. The humans had already predicted their moves and had bypassed them completely. They think they are chasing us, Jake said, but we are leading them into mistakes. Lily nodded. That is how humans fight. We adapt, we predict, and we survive. Even the Krelth citizens began to fear their own leaders. They had always believed in the Empire's strength, but now they saw humans striking anywhere, anytime, and vanishing without a trace. The humans were not just surviving, they were showing the galaxy that underestimating humans was a fatal mistake. The war escalated further. Human fleets moved from system to system, crippling Krelth infrastructure. Energy grids were destroyed, orbital defenses collapsed, and shipyards burned. The Krelth scrambled to respond, but they were always too late. Humans struck fast, hard, and then vanished. Captain Harris watched the reports with a mix of pride and determination. "They asked for war," he said quietly to Lily, "and we are giving them one they will never forget, but we fight smart. We fight to survive. That is what makes humans strong." Lily smiled faintly. "And the galaxy is watching. Every empire, every species, will see that humans do not back down. Humans survive, even against impossible odds." The Krelth Emperor raged in his throne room, unable to comprehend the human strategy. His fleets were failing, his command structures collapsing, and his people were terrified. For the first time in history, the Krelth faced an enemy they could not predict or control. Captain Harris and Admiral Carter knew the war was far from over, but humans had already proven something important. Size and power alone could not defeat a species that fought with intelligence, courage, and determination. The humans had shown the galaxy that being underestimated was humanity's greatest strength. They could strike anywhere, survive against overwhelming odds, and turn even the mightiest empire into chaos. And the Krelth were only beginning to understand that. The Krelth Emperor sat on his throne, staring at the maps in front of him. His massive fleet was scattered. Worlds he had once called secure were burning. Orbital stations that housed his most advanced weapons lay in ruins. The citizens of his empire were panicked. They no longer trusted their leaders, and the humans were advancing deeper into Krelth space with every passing day. Advisors argued and shouted, blaming each other for the failures. The Emperor slammed his clawed hands on the table. "Humans are small," he roared. "They cannot fight an empire, they cannot destroy our fleets, and yet they do. Why do they survive?" "They are clever," one advisor whispered. "They do not fight like us. They strike when we are weak, then vanish before we can respond." The Emperor roared in frustration. He could not believe it. He had never faced an enemy like this. No one had ever dared to fight the Krelth and win, and yet here they were, humans, striking at the heart of his empire. Captain Jake Harris watched reports from Earth's command center. Strike teams had reached the heart of Krelth space, targeting the planets that housed the largest shipyards, weapons factories, and energy stations. Human ships moved like shadows, cloaked from sensors, appearing only for moments to strike and then disappearing. "They are panicking," Jake said to Ambassador Lily Morgan. "They don't know where the next attack will come from, and they can't stop it." Lily nodded. "We have forced them onto the defensive. That is our advantage. We do not need to destroy them completely. We only need to make them understand what happens when humans are pushed too far." Jake's hands rested on the edge of the table. He thought of Earth, the colonies, the worlds humans had quietly built over decades. Humanity had always survived. Every disaster, every war, every threat had been met with ingenuity and determination. And now, the galaxy was witnessing it firsthand. Megan Brooks, coordinating strike teams, reported, "Strike Team Gamma has disabled the Krelth primary energy grid on Volter. Their fleet production is down by 50%. Strike Team Delta has destroyed a weapons depot on Krylan. The humans are systematically dismantling their war power." Jake's green eyes gleamed. "They asked for war," he said. "They wanted to see what humans could do. Now they are learning the cost." The Krelth Emperor, desperate, sent his remaining fleets to counter the human forces. He hoped that overwhelming numbers could crush the strike teams before they could escape. But humans were always one step ahead. They predicted the Krelth movements, avoided ambushes, and struck at targets the Krelth thought were safe. Captain Harris smiled faintly. They believe strength alone can win. They are wrong. Humans do not fight with strength alone. We fight with brains, with strategy, and with courage. Lily watched the holographic maps showing Krelth systems in chaos. They think they control the galaxy, she said. But humans control the battle now. Every strike is calculated. Every move is precise. The Krelth cannot recover from this quickly. The human fleets continued their assault. Orbital shipyards burned, energy grids exploded, and defensive platforms collapsed. The Krelth tried to rebuild, but each attempt was met with another human strike. The pattern was clear. No Krelth world was safe, no matter how fortified. Even the Krelth citizens began to lose faith in their empire. Reports of human strikes spread quickly. Planets once confident in the Krelth power now feared the humans more than the Emperor himself. Panic grew, and the loyalty of the people began to crumble. On Earth, the Council watched the progress with a mixture of awe and caution. Admiral Carter spoke to Captain Harris and Lily Morgan. "We have shown them what humans can do," he said, "but we must ensure we do not cross the line. We fight to survive, not to conquer. The galaxy must see that humans act out of necessity, not cruelty." Jake nodded. "We strike to defend, not to destroy without reason. That is what makes us human," Lily added. "And it is why the galaxy will respect us, even the ones who once thought we were weak. Humans survive even against impossible odds, and we fight smart, not just strong." The final strike teams moved toward the Krelth Emperor's home world, the heart of the Empire. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for. Strike Team Epsilon, led by Captain Harris himself, slipped past Krelth fleets using cloaking devices and advanced navigation. They appeared in orbit around the planet without warning. From the command center on the Odyssey, Jake watched the target systems. "Focus on military targets first," he ordered. "Destroy shipyards, weapons depots, and energy grids. Avoid civilian areas. Precision is key." The strike was devastating. Missiles hit shipyards, energy stations exploded, and orbital defense platforms collapsed. The Krelth fleet scrambled, but they were too late. Human ships vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving chaos in their wake. Lily monitored the communications networks. "They are trying to send messages," she said, "but the signals are scrambled. The Krelth cannot coordinate their response. They cannot stop us." Admiral Carter nodded. "This is what happens when you underestimate humanity," he said. "They believed humans were small and weak. Now they see what we can do when pushed too far." The Krelth Emperor, realizing his empire was falling apart, called for a council. "We must surrender," he said, though the words were bitter. "Humans are not what we expected. They are clever, strategic, and relentless. We cannot defeat them." Advisors whispered among themselves. Some feared their lives, others were angry. But the truth was clear. Humanity had won, not through sheer size or power, but through strategy, intelligence, and unyielding courage. On Earth, Ambassador Lily Morgan prepared the final message to the galaxy. "We must make this clear," she said. "Humans do not seek conquest. We fight to survive. We do not wish to harm others unnecessarily, but if threatened, we will respond with absolute force." Jake added, "Let the galaxy see the cost of underestimating humans. Let them understand that we survive, and we fight with everything we have when cornered." The message was broadcast across every known system, translated into dozens of languages and alien dialects. The words were calm but firm. Humans did not start wars, but humans would not be crushed. Humanity would survive, and any who threatened them would face the consequences. Across the galaxy, other species listened in awe. They had watched the humans fight, strike, and survive against the mighty Krelth Empire. The message was clear: underestimate humanity at your own peril. The Krelth Emperor, now isolated and powerless, could do nothing but accept the terms. Humans did not seek to destroy his people unnecessarily, but they had demonstrated what would happen if their threats continued. The Krelth Empire was humbled, and the galaxy took note. Captain Jake Harris and Ambassador Lily Morgan returned to Earth to a hero's welcome. The colonies and homeworld celebrated their survival, but the humans knew the lesson had been learned. They had fought for survival, not for glory. Their strength lay in their intelligence, their courage, and their determination to endure against impossible odds. Admiral Carter addressed the command center one last time. "We have shown the galaxy who humans really are," he said. "Not because we are the largest or the strongest, but because we survive when others would fail. That is what makes humans dangerous to those who underestimate us." Jake and Lily looked at each other, knowing the war had changed humanity forever. The galaxy now respected them, feared them, and most importantly, understood one simple truth: humans fight to survive, and they fight smart. In the following weeks, the Krelth Empire rebuilt, but carefully. They no longer acted with arrogance. Humans had shown them the cost of underestimating a species that appeared small but carried the will, ingenuity, and courage of an entire world. Across the galaxy, stories spread. Humans were no longer considered minor players. They were a force that demanded respect. They did not start wars, but they would end them on their own terms. Captain Jake Harris watched the stars from Earth's orbit. He thought of the Krelth fleets, the planets burned, the strikes that had changed the course of history. Humanity had survived. Humanity had won. And humanity had sent a message that would never be forgotten. Lily stood beside him. "They wanted war," she said quietly. "We gave them one, but we gave them a lesson too." Jake nodded. "The galaxy will never forget it. Humans survive. Humans fight. Humans adapt. And when cornered, humans do not back down. Not ever." The stars shone brightly above them. Humanity had shown the universe their true strength, not just their weapons or ships, but their mind, their courage, and their will to survive. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. And humanity, small but unyielding, had proven that underestimating them came with a cost too high for anyone to pay. The humans had survived, the Krelth had been humbled, and the message was clear across the stars. If you push humanity too far, you will see your worlds reduced to cinders.